This is the I Love Fly Fishing dubbing brush maker. This is used to make dubbing brushes, both small and large. Quickly, let's go over the components. That is the main board. Then you've got a large brush tray that's used for the large brushes. And you have the small brush compression bar that goes into the slot when you're taking small dubbing brushes. You have the hand twist tool. And you have the impact driver twist tool that has a hex end for impact drivers. And you've got the drill twist tool, which you can use for an electric drill with a smooth round end. And it's 3D printed out of PLA. Let's start by making a small brush out of hare's fur dubbing. Place the main board on the edge of the table. It's got non-slip feet so it doesn't move. Now we're going to take our brush making wire, which is a thin metal wire, and we're going to attach that to this bit here, which can unscrew. And all we need to do is find the end of the wire, twist that around and secure it, and then we're going to run it through the gap there, slot there, and then we can hang it down here, and we can attach our hand twist tool to the wire, which will weight it down, and then we can just temporarily just set it down there. Now, an important step is to take the wire and lift it out a bit and apply some dubbing wax to the wire. This will help secure the material on the wire and make sure it doesn't slip when you twist it up. You can liberally coat it with dubbing wax. Now we're going to take our short dubbing material that we want to use, and we're going to stick that into our slot. This is natural hare's fur, and we're pushing it down into that slot. Spraying it out a bit so that it doesn't clump up. Spread it out a bit. And that slot helps make sure that your material doesn't fly everywhere and stays on the wire. Okay. Now we're going to use this to just squeeze it flat onto the wire. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to bring this out. We keep the weight on there, on the twist tool, and we bring this back through the slot. And now we have a second bit here. We can attach the wire in, and all I have to do is screw it down and secure the wire, and you can put this wire on the bobbin holder. And now you're ready to start twisting this up. Sure it's nice and tight. Squeeze that material down, and then just start twisting it up. And you can do this with either by swapping out for the drill tool or the driver tool, or you can do it by hand. And once you think it's tight enough, you should be able to lift it up and spin up your brush. Make it nice and tight. Spinning it up nice and tight so the material won't come out. You can see there already it's secured. And now what I'll do is just take a dubbing brush tool, and you can just brush your material to get any trapped fibers out. Simply snip it off. And there you have a perfect little dubbing brush. Perfect for tying nymphs and woolly buggers and whatever you want to tie. Now let's do a big brush with craft fur. First you take the large brush table and you put it in there. And then, like before, you're going to run your wire. Tie it around that. Screw it down. come out. Your wire through the slot there, over the table, and then you're going to put your hand twist tool in there to keep the weight on, like before. And like before, you want to put your dubbing wax on there. And you can even put a little bit of dubbing wax on the table just to help things not slip. The material, you want to keep the material in position. Okay, let that hang. Now you can take your much longer material and cut it into the length you want. I want these nice and long. And you're going to spread your material out over there. Spread it out. Don't want it in clumps. And you can make this as thick or as thin as you want it. And you can use multiple colors. You can blend it however you want to do this. It's really up to you. You can do half and half colors. Mix the colors every centimeter or however you want to do it. And these, you can make the fibers as long as you want. But the key here is that dubbing wax that helps everything stay together. Okay, I'm making this one a little sparse. I'll add a little bit more in there. Okay, this will be a nice sparse brush. It's just going to add some grizzle over the front of some flies. Now the key here is I'm going to run the brush back. I even like to sometimes add dubbing wax onto this section of wire as well, a little bit. But then I'm going to run it straight through the middle of the slot and back through the middle. I don't want to run it around. I'm just going to take it over that middle one again. Just going to open it slightly. So it's slotted in there. And close it up. So I'm running over the middle one, make sure it's tight there, but now I've got to do a swap. So this one I'm going to do over the drill. So just to demonstrate, I'm going to do a swap. So stick that drill through, hook it in, keep it tight, and then I'm going to remove the hand twist tool. And now I'm going to start spinning it up, keeping everything tight. And I'm going to lift the material. Spin that up nicely and you get a great brush. Make it nice and tight. Again, so no material comes out. And then you can use your dubbing brush tool again to brush any trap bits out. And you end up with an awesome dubbing brush. Look at that. So that has given us two brilliant brushes, one long brush with craft fur and the other one with hare's fur. So this is available on the I Love Fly Fishing website. Check it out and tie some nice flies. And you can tie nice flies like these with these brushes. This is just a simple hair and copper using that dubbing brush. No struggles. Just wind the brush around. There you go, perfect hair and copper. Okay, and let's try a saltwater bait fish pattern with the craft fur. Tie it on. And we're just going to wrap it all the way forward, folding the fibers back as we go. We want to fold it back and make sure it lays nicely as we go. and you can do whatever you want for eyes here. Stick eyes on and see what you decide. And there we go, a simple craft fur baitfish pattern made with the dubbing brush.